Okay, we moved back inside one of the big halls here at the Paris Airshow for our final interview on day 2. We're on a small stand for Dessia. We'll explain why it's a small stand, because it's part of a larger group. But I'm joined by Jean-Pierre Roux, who's the chief executive of Dessia. Welcome, Jean-Pierre. Thanks for inviting us to come and speak to you.
Well, nice to welcome you on this small but huge booth still, right?
So explain that. Actually, we're in quite a large area of startups, essentially, aren't they? All
startups
part of the GFAS
small
group.
medium as well.
And medium, okay.
Yeah.
So they're part of this grouping called GFAS.
Yes.
What is GFAS?
GFAS is this group of or cluster of industrial companies which have main activities in aerospace and defense.
Yep.
And so we are here because we are part of this club of startups. We've been selected as the first cohort back in 2023, and so we're happy to be here. Small, but lots of visibility, lots of delegations coming here all day long.
Yeah. You're in a good spot. Everyone walks through this show.
Exactly. So
let's talk about startups. The GFAS group it encompasses the big boys as well.
Of course,
They'll be somewhere around there. Some, minorly large stands. We know who they are, but they're part of this because they see a value in working with startups. Explain that, because we were talking about what startups, the role they can play before we start recording this. What role does startups play in this industry of ours?
Well, basically, generally speaking, they look for new technology that could help them, to cover the challenges they have right now. Typically, what we see, specifically in the aerospace industry, is that lots of experts which are nearby retirement. So it means that the knowledge is kind of going away. And on the other side, the engineers, designers are less interested in industry, even that industry, which is kind of exciting industry. So it means that they're looking for a way to keep this knowledge inside. This is where AI can help. There's a lot of fear about AI will replace or whatever replace. Actually, it can help to keep that domain knowledge in there. Now, that being said, they're looking for more agility. They're looking for more productivity with the same means, of course, and they're looking for more robustness. So it's they have processes in place, but now they got to go for the next stage, right? And that's why we come into the place.
They're looking for innovators, aren't they? Real, disruptors in some ways. And disruption disruption is seen as a good thing in business. But it is disruption, and an aviation sector doesn't necessarily like disruption very much. That feels too risky. But I suppose if they can work with you guys and you do some of the disruption in a controlled manner, that can actually be very good for a sector. That's happening, but it's not actually having an impact on day-to-day operations.
Well, you're on point that globally speaking, engineering is kind of conservative. Well, when you design an aircraft, but also a car or a train, you've got to be conservative in what you say and what you decide. And even more, you're right, with aerospace. So there's this kind of, and also because they have long-term projects, it means that they're not necessarily up to date with the latest technology they could involve in their processes. But now they have to change that paradigm. And typically we bring, with our technology, which is about AI, but for engineering, we bring different aspects where we could meet their requirements, which means accelerate and bring robustness to everything which is about verification. They spend between 10 and 20% of their time verifying what has been designed. So verification is a big topic, and it's all done by hand today. Not very kind of interesting job. Human not doing that job, meaning that, can be still mistakes. So we can, with AI, we can automate all of that and then bring the results to the designer. So it's kind of, you're improving their life and you're improving the processes. You reduce the time, and again, you have a more robust and exhaustive process.
So getting into now what you actually do,
that's
obviously AI, the clues in the name, you IA at the end, not AI, but we'll let you off that. So get going. What is Dessia doing? What is the technology you develop?
What we bring on the market is a solution, a framework that makes the bridge between the design and AI. So Dessia, AI is ER in French. Of course, doesn't work in English, but that's what we're doing. So what is specific in engineering is that it's not only about texts or documents. Here you can use all the LLMs of the world, and I will do a lot of things with all which is documentaries, of course. But in engineering, you've got also 3D CAD geometries, you've got 2D blueprints, technical drawings, you've got system engineering, and so on. And for that, you need a specific approach to apply AI on this. And this is where we come into place.
Yeah.
So we have designed libraries from which you can create your own custom apps boosted by AI. And it's custom in a way that all the knowledge, which is specific for each client, is being encapsulated in there. And then those apps will help to automate verification or generation of systems, architectures, routing of harnesses, and so on.
Okay. So on the back here, automated harness and okay. So there's very specific applications here for.
Those are examples.
Yeah, they're examples of what AI can do and where it should be applied, basically.
Exactly.
And that's where you're pushing into this area to show what's possible.
Okay. So you're right that here what we're showing here is harness duct routing. So we have designed algorithm that works a bit like your Waze when you're driving. You know? Waze is kind of giving you the shortest path from A to B, but it's constrained with the traffic jams.
Yeah.
Our Waze is a bit different because it's constrained by the rules, because you don't just design a harness route just because you want to go straight, right? You've got to respect some curvatures, bending, and all that stuff. Lots of complex rules. Yeah. So you can input that on our algorithm, and then it will show you lots of different solutions in a shorter time frame than you can do by hand. Yeah. So more solutions, less time, easier job for the project team to make good selections. Yeah.
Do you think the industry is embracing AI enough in general? There's a lot of promise out there. There's a lot of skepticism as well. So is it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of buzzword with AI, with all the Gen AI related stuff, and that is good. I mean, for us, that is creating a lot of visibility. Just for one reason, is because at the top management of all companies, the big boss says you got to use AI, and then the guy under say, "Oh, what I should do with AI?"
Well, most people are worried they take their jobs away.
So, well, it doesn't in the end, because I think it's all about removing the burden and just give the innovation back to the engineers and the designer, not to crawl under very manual stuff. So
it's create new roles we can't even imagine. Right? I guess it will certainly take some roles away that are very manual and automate those. But
maybe so. Transformation, transformation, of course. There's a big digital transformation wave right now, which is happening with AI and with just algorithm as well, all across the industry. And we're part of it. Yeah, you're right. So
So as we said, it's the end of the second day. It's a long old show, but there's been lots of people coming through the show. So how's it been for you? What are people coming to you to ask about, to find out? What kind of questions are you getting from?
Well, we were there already 2 years ago. We were less mature, less visible, so we've got more visibility now. So people come because they heard about us already a bit. And also just because they're busy and see some of the AI with design, kind of the buzzwords as well. And they're asking and they want to follow up. So that's promising.
There's a real intention to implement now rather than think about it.
Well, between it's a long sales cycle in the end, but it's not because it's AI. It's always been this way with engineering. You gotta prove the value, prove the concept. And then you got to think how to deploy, because there is an aspect which is so-called the digital continuity. You don't want Dessia on its own. You want Dessia installed, connected to the PLMs, all the the backbones of the data with engineering. So it's a big IT project behind it. So it's a long sales cycle, which is really rewarding, because at the end, if you get there, you're installed. And then the end user have a seamless experience using different technology, and again they provide value to their companies. So that's good.
And it's a business, you're telling me you're based in Paris, so you're on home turf here, although you don't live in Paris, but you are based in Paris. And you've gone through 2 seed funding rounds, is that right? So
that's correct. We did a pre-seed with French and German capital investors. And last year we did another seed round with 2 of the 3. And we had also Orano, which is the French nuclear plant engineering company. They invested through their corporate venture fund in Dessia, for advanced technology thesis.
Obviously looking for the next stage. So Series A is next, I guess. Any timeline for that, or is it something?
We'll. It all goes with, of course, on one side we've got increasing team, because we want to always invest in the future, new technology, new libraries, and so on. So on the other side, we also gain more clients, grow at some clients as well. So all that combined, I think during 2026 we'll run for a new campaign for the next step, and We started to go outside of France. We, by the way, 2 weeks ago we were in the UK at the Smart Manufacturing Expo.
Okay.
We also go in Germany and so on, and of course the next big jump is in the US. Of course.
Yeah. You've got customers now live with the technology. So
yeah. Well,
who's your kind of customer then? What people you work
with respect to aerospace, we work with Airbus, with Safran, and there are lots of different divisions. Obviously, those are giants, and different level of maturities. We also have discussion with other ones. I can't give the names, but and also we work with non-aerospace industries as well. We discuss and work with shipbuilding as well.
Okay.
Warship building like Naval Group.
Yeah.
We also work with automotive industry like Renault, Valeo, and so on.
Yeah.
And OP Mobility. So big widths of applications we can develop.
And still value the support of the GFAS group as well. So that's the ongoing.
I mean, you don't imagine having even a 6 square meter booth here. You're nobody. Here we're part of a big dynamic, and that's good.
Yeah, great. Jean-Pierre, thanks for your time.
Well, thank you for
I will let you go from this second day. It's quite hard to get away from here, so it could be a bit of a journey.
I think you've got to wait a bit more.
Well, thanks very much, and we'll hopefully see you again at another show in the near future. With even a bigger stand. Maybe. Who knows?
That would be lots of meaning in that case.
Thank you.
Thank you.